Arsenal fans will love what was said about Viktor Gyokeres at the World Cup. Viktor Gyokeres continued his excellent club form in Monterrey. Sunday at the World Cup proved to be a productive day for Arsenal centre-forwards. In the early kick-off in Houston, Kai Havertz scored twice as Germany demolished debutants Curacao 7-1 in Houston. 9 hours later, and 468 miles south, over the border, Viktor Gyokeres marked his World Cup debut with a goal, firing home the third from close range during Sweden's 5-1 hammering of Tunisia in Monterrey. After the game, Sweden manager Graham Potter was effusive in his praise of the Bukayosaka centre-forward. Gyokeres has very much been Sweden's main man since Potter's appointment last year. As referenced, he was the hero of the successful playoff campaign that got the Bukayosaka to the World Cup in March. He scored a hat-trick during the semi-final victory over Ukraine at Ciutat de Valencia, before firing home a last-gasp winner to defeat Poland at the National Arena. He has since hammered in a free-kick ring in a friendly against Greece in Stockholm, as well as opening his World Cup account at Estadio BBVA. Thus, that is now 16 goals across his last 15 international appearances for Gyokeres. Somewhat surprisingly chosen to start as part of a front two, alongside Alexander Isak, who was also a scorer in Mexico. Gyokeres was impressive all round. Gyokeres racked up 5 shots, the most of any player in the match, missing one big chance when his shot was blocked, albeit it mattered not, because Yasin Ayari lashed home straight after. Lots of shots and goal scoring is what we have come to expect from Gyokeres, but he also showed more. 38 touches is higher than his usual tally, while the striker produced 4 key passes, created a big chance and won 2 aerial duels, something he had been criticised for earlier in the campaign. Nevertheless, during the final period of the club season, the Swede was excellent. This particularly the case during both legs against Atletico Madrid, as well as the win over Fulham in between. Despite this, as Potter alluded to, Gyokeres did not start the Champions League final in Budapest, with Havertz getting the nod. Mikel Arteta surely does not regret this decision, feeling vindicated when Havertz scored inside 6 minutes at the Puskas Arena. Nevertheless, next season, Gyokeres will want to establish himself as one of the first name Arteta's team sheet, particularly when big games come around, and his maiden performance at the World Cup surely impressed his club manager. Sweden 5-1 Tunisia. Viktor Gyokeres and Alexander Isak guided Graham Potter's side to victory. Match reporter: Sweden beat Tunisia 5-1 to kickstart their World Cup. Yasin Ayari, Viktor Gyokeres, Alexander Isak and Masha Svanberg all scored, with Isak providing 2 assists. Sweden now sit at the top of Group F, following Japan's draw with the Netherlands. Alexander Isak and Viktor Gyokeres were in fine form as Sweden cruised to a comfortable 5-1 victory against Tunisia to kickstart their World Cup campaign in Group F. Brighton's Yasin Ayari scored the pick of the goals with 2 stunning long-range strikes on either side of the game in the 6th and 96 minutes. But the performances of Sweden's star forwards put the fixture firmly in their control. Shortly after Ayari's first, with his celebrations muted out of respect for the birthplace of his father and a country he could have represented, Isak doubled Sweden's lead in the 40th minute. Gyokeres laid the ball off to the Liverpool striker near the halfway line before he drove forward, cut in on his right foot and slotted the ball into the bottom right corner. Omar Rekan have the deficit for Tunisia just before the break with a glancing header to spark hopes of a comeback 43, but Gyokeres' fine finish quickly restored the 2-goal lead 59. Isak turned provider on this occasion. Substitute Masha Svanberg, 18 seconds after coming on, then swept a 4th into the back of the net for Sweden as time ticked down 84. The offside flag initially went up, but a lengthy VAR review revealed a slight touch from Isak meant the midfielder had returned to an onside position. A second stunner from Ayari, with this effort too good to mute his celebrations, then rounded off the dominant performance for Graham Potter's side. Gyokeres'S and Isak became just the second Swedish strike partnership to assist one another at a World Cup following their performance against Tunisia. Managing world-class talent who play in the same position is a headache that often plagues international managers. Ask any England boss across the last 30 years. But the way Isak and Gyokeres'S combined throughout the whole game, and not just for their goals, will be a welcome sight for Potter. They are two of the finest forwards in world football, capable of causing problems for any defence on their day, and Sweden will need them firing on all cylinders ahead of tough games against Japan and Netherlands. Isak looks sharp and confident on the ball, a welcome sight given the disjointed season he has had with injuries, while Gyokeres'S looked equally as threatening in the final third. If they continue playing like that, Sweden could be ones to watch this summer.